All right, greetings, ladies and gentlemen and non-binaries, interplanetary, intergalactic time travelers. We salute you. This is Oliver, and I'm here in a bunker I call Studio 72. Just chilling out on a Saturday night. I hope you're staying safe. You're chilling out. All right. It's here, art of the Andes. Alright, this is the bigger scene here. So I took two small pieces out of that big scene. And we've got kind of an owl priestess, and some sort of lord of Saipan. But it's a human sacrifice, right? This is ancient art of the Andes, the mochi, M-O-C-H-E, emoji. And, it really got me thinking. It's a reoccurring theme with eclipses and major astrological events. And it feels like an overwhelming presence. So I just thought I'd share a little bit of that and some of my perspectives, and then also just kind of combined in a little bit of some psychology of it all. And I've been watching a lot of people online, and I can tell there's a lot of people. What it seems like to me is that a lot of people are emotionally charged. I would anticipate that with a lot of the Pisces clustering and the Pisces eclipse portal that opened up. And it sounds kind of cheesy to some people. It is what it is. It was the opening to this interstellar alignment, the eclipse. Now, I'm not a big fan of Virgo. Virgo is the critique. Virgo energies are very difficult to deal with. They're kind of like a sensei in your mind when you have the Virgo energy coming on you, that little wave of Virgo, your self-criticism. Now, you can spin that into a positive and say, okay, this is house cleaning time. This is for me personally to arrange the living room. And often that is a powerful action, is cleaning the house, rearranging the furniture. That is a powerful symbolism. That's probably going to happen or should happen this next week leading up. Now remember, when there is these lunar eclipse, solar eclipse, we've got this action happening this month. There's the days leading up to it, and there's the days after. So it's not just all one bam, right? Although there is that. Right? If that makes sense. There is these days before and after. It's like a tsunami, really, because you have the sucking of the oceans during these tsunamis. You see it on video. And you see fish like flopping around. You see marine life flopping around on the beach with no water, where there was water. It sucks out. And then it comes back, not always like a tidal wave. We always have these visuals of a huge tidal wave. Tsunami is different than the tidal wave. It's good to separate those two, I think, metaphorically, spiritually, physically. The words, the tidal wave and tsunami. But that water comes back in, and it goes up, 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 and next thing you know, you've got cars and buses going down muddy streets. Tsunami. There's the spiritual tsunamis. There's the interplanetary, intergalactic, electromagnetic energy of a tsunami. Not only metaphorical in kind of a Carl Jung, the Jungster, a Jungian. He's talking Jungian. Carl Jung, not only in that way, but also in physical ways. And I think it's really powerful. We're in a really powerful time. I know it's obvious. There's politics happening. There's There's all kinds of things that are happening. It's a powerhouse. Some are calling it. I am cautious about using the word political revolution. I'm positive in that. I'm hesitant in calling anything a revolution in that sense. I just think it's bad words. It implies things. It triggers emotions. People are already very unwell, right, to say the least. To speak the obvious, the liberals have lost their minds, and it's quite obvious. They're completely out of their minds. And they're telling people to be violent, which is not only dog whistling, they're actually using violent words. It's not just a silent whistle. It's not just encrypted codes. They're actually telling people. And all of a sudden, we've got Tesla's factories being blown up, being shot up, Tesla's being blown up all over the country. Right here in Oregon, of course, where we have Representative Maxine Dexter, Dr. Dexter, telling people we have to fuck Trump at a rally. We got to fuck Trump. Now, she's a rookie. She's making rookie moves. That doesn't matter. You have to call her out and check her. And because that is a tone that creates violence. So that is classic Venus, Aries type of full throttle type of lunacy is what I just said. These angry female screaming, we have to fuck Trump, we gotta get him guys. This type of a thing is I feel that. I can feel the energy coming on. The other remarkable thing that I can't get out of my head is that I one of the people that I'm some astrologer, somebody, energy speaker, energist, I don't even know what all these titles people go by. I don't even know if they care. I don't know if it matters, but they were talking about how Venus and Mercury are in conjunct. They do this little booty call, this little hookup is what I'm calling it. I'm interpreting it as this little backdoor lover kind of a, now I don't know if this is kind of like the cougar Venus seduces the younger college Mercury. Mercury's kind of a scholar. It's your interpretation. I don't want to paint that part, who seduced who or how it came about. And then Mercury triggers into this reverse, this runaway, this Romeo runaway, quick reverse right around this blood moon eclipse, which will come in Thursday and Friday morning, 13th, 14th, which there's this huge low that they're calling a bombogenesis that's going to develop or developing now over the center of America. It's amazing how these things come together physically, meteorologically, emotionally, relationships, politically. This is going to be a heated Virgo, Aries, boom. This is going to be the blood moon. This could be a bloodbath spiritually, physically, politically. This is going to be intense this next week. Starting this weekend, starting right now, but it's leading up to the days Thursday evening. It's going to feel like Friday morning. There's a whole lot of things sparking. I'm not going to spend the time on reading through all the aspects, but maybe it briefly. It's just so boring. Nobody cares. I think that the psychoanalysis of it all is that this is, to me, it with Venus in Aries clicked retro. Now this what's going on? Is this an extramarital affair between Venus and Mercury? Who's married? Nobody's married. This is consenting adults. Venus, the goddess of love, she gets what she wants. And when mama's hungry, mama's gonna eat. That's just the way it goes. Men have to understand that. It's sometimes women have got to get their freak on. They've got to go out and be the slut. They got to be whores, sexually speaking, but without judgment, secretly to get it on. Mama's got to get her thing. without judgment. And men, that's what you need. So why do we need to treat a woman's need that needs to go do that? Because it's not religious, it's not right wing. Women are supposed to show themselves in the right wing conservative. I don't know, all this other weird type of psychological clustering that comes with that conservative mindset, that alpha female mindset. I can only imagine. But I'm speaking in a little bit bigger terms where there is affairs and that type of energy. I can feel that there's probably a couple 100,000 extramarital affairs happening right now in America. Right now, there's women banging the gardener, banging their husband's best friend. There's men doing it too, but the women have really stepped up into the alpha role. Not only like in the right-wing conservative, but actually in my perspectives of the whole romance of 2024. Now, it's different generational. I understand that, but I think there is some common threads that could be weaved with this role reversal and these, especially in liberal dynamics. Now, I'm talking about that conservative mindset, just briefly psychoanalysis of that. You can apply that same type of lens and only imagine the freak factor of that's going to come with the neoliberal or the liberal mindset, the sexual deviance, if you will, the acceptable norm of this sexual deviance, if you will. And again, no judgments. This isn't the time for me to judge or cast judgments. But let's just psychoanalyze it together a little bit. So you've got a lot of women that have got a lot of guilt right now because they've got extra something on the side, finger licking biscuits, and they need to come clean. This is the week with this eclipse to come clean. Now, let go of the fears if you can. There's a lot of anxiety. I understand. The stigma, you've done something wrong, you feel bad, all these explosive emotions and feelings have got to come out. You're going to feel better once you confess to what you've done. You've had this little something on the side, young, dapper Mercury. You snuck him in the back door and you seduced the mofo, or maybe it was scheduled. Mercury's got a little scheduled something. Which could very well be. I mean, you think about it, everybody's on cue of where they're going to be. It's very predictable. That's how we get astrology and astronomy. That's how we predict these eclipses from years to come. With me? Follow me? I'm just stating the obvious. It's very predictable. Venus is going to be at this spot at this time and ready to rumble. All right? And Mercury knows Venus is going to be at that spot. Heck, Mercury knows I'm going to be right there mowing the lawn of Venus's house. Conjunct. You got to do what you got to do. I mean, you look back there and you're mowing the lawn and you see this blonde Venus goddess out behind the pool, sitting maybe naked, sitting almost naked, got a bikini sexier than naked. They're both just beautiful. But Mercury's there with his little eyeball peepers just popping out of his skull. He's like, God damn, you can't just walk away from that. You can't unsee Venus by the pool like that. Mercury's been out here with dusty balls and dusty saddles. So you get my point. There's a little bit of consensual interplanetary adult play. This is my perception. That type of interplanetary booty call can reflect, should reflect, and will reflect politically, economically, spiritually in America, maybe around the world, but it's definitely directly affect even the markets. They're talking about this type of a little schism. It could even affect, I mean, the markets are ready to drop. They have to correct. If you don't know that, you don't know that. But back to the psychology of the relationship that you need to come clean. This is for men too, but I've never been able to shake Venus having this sexual desire to seduce Mercury, and knock it out. Like, I don't even know. I don't know if it's a quick little beach getaway, little condo. I don't know if it's a weekend. I mean, it should be a weekend. I mean, what kind of sexual encounter is just a couple of hours? Holy crap. You've got to savor that moment. You've got to embrace that moment for days. Days lounging around in bed, licking the salty morsels of the sandy beaches. I digress. I think you get my point. I think you've been there. We've all been there. This right now, let me suggest this. My mustache is growing out, and now it's like tickling my nose. I'm like, is that why I got rid of that damn mustache? Jesus, it's crazy. But I keep feeling like I've got like some sort of like critters or something coming up on my nostrils. But right now is the time we have been surfing the solar interplanetary electromagnetic waves. We are the surfers, and we've been surfing them. Now is that time where we've dog paddled, or not really dog paddled, but the wave has brought us back into it. The board's there. We're at the beach. We stayed on the board, by the way. Rule number 1, don't ever get off the board. Stay on your board, okay? Very important for survival. We're at the beach. This is at the beach, okay? And now we have rolled off that board, and we're laying on the sand, and we're just laying there. The surf is coming up on our toes and our legs. And we're just laying, looking up into the blue skies and the clouds and the beach, and we're resting. This is the rest. Today, tomorrow, next couple of days, we're resting. Resting. Because the blood moon, I mean, just listen to the way it sounds. Just say it out loud. Listen. Blood moon? What the fuck? A blood moon? Okay, we're going to go with it. But it's a blood moon, okay? That means blood, right? Bloody, right? Okay. That can mean heart and intensity and passion as much as it means to me bloodshed and catastrophe, like war, military, people losing their minds. Mercury going retro, snapping, racing out, either whatever, if something goes bad, if it's domestic violence with Venus. I mean, she might have gotten drunk, a little tequila, and she starts beating up on Mercury. I don't know. Our minds can wander in some strange places with these scenarios. Maybe Venus doesn't even drink tequila. It's probably better if she doesn't. Something happens. Mercury is spooked for whatever. I don't know exactly what's up with that part of the story. But he bolts. Retro. Looks like going reverse, but it's really just bolting. So you have that energy that triggers some people. They lose their minds. And it's like they already had their minds sort of lost, right? To begin with. But then that little thing, it triggers. It can trigger. Some people have this hypersensitivity to the Mercury energies. Whether they believe it, in its self-fulfilling Mercury prophecy, they say, it's Mercury. I knew there was a reason things were all fucked up today. You ever heard that? I've heard that so many times. My whole life I heard shit like that. But Mercury the real effects are really documented. And it's going to happen to you. Okay? It's not about a psychic intuition or being a gypsy palm reader where you've got the M. Holy shit, you've got the M on your palms. Oh my God, you're the chosen. I was watching a video. There is so many crazy videos out. There's a lot of crazy people saying a lot of crazy shit on videos about astro stuff lately. Have you noticed that? Or is it just the AI rhythm is feeding into my YouTube and it's sending me the crazies? Which I don't mind crazy. I watch the crazies just like I would a case study and make chart notes and go, okay, that's what you call batshit crazy. No judgment. God, no, come on, listen. You are in, what do they call that? warm company. What do you call that? What do you call that when you're kind of like kumbaya? It's not kumbaya. It's you're in good company. You're in good company. You are in good company. We're not going to judge you yet. We're going to wait to judging when behind your back when you've left and you thought it went well. We're going to actually talk about you then and write down some chart notes if things didn't go as well as you thought. No, just kidding. God. Jesus. Take it easy. All right. So, feel good about the departure. Okay? I know there's anxiety about losing a lover, maybe even a wife or a husband. I suggest that break is exactly what you need. This fresh start. It's house cleaning time. It's Virgo, the critic. It's the butcher chopping block. It's not little scalpel incisions, right? Which is good, and that can be a part of it. But it's the metaphor that I see is this chopping block. The other visual I got, kind of dark, but it's the Queen of Hearts. Off with the heads! Off with the heads! Off with the heads! Off with the heads! The Queen of Hearts, you know what I mean? That character, that persona, she just keeps shouting that. It's this queen, seductress, she's the monarchy, she's empowered, narcissist, bitch. Holy fuck! Don't put her in front of a Multnomah County Department headquarters. It's gonna get ugly in there. Oh, it's already ugly. Off with the heads! Off with the heads! This is what I visualize right now for this week. The blood moon. Follow me. Lunar eclipse. Right? With that Virgo. It's off with their heads. Now, that can be dark and tragic and domestic violence. I anticipate a whole bunch of domestic violence. Probably the ones that catch the media's attention is celebrity violence, right? The celebrity deaths. It's got to happen. The other thing that's going to happen, mark my words, I'm putting it down in a timestamp because it's just too symbolic to not shine down in a synchronicity, synergistic, cosmic unconscious synchronicity here on Earth. Venus could be cougar hunt, seducing the young, and somehow that's not okay. It's an extra affair, they've been caught. It could even be life-threatening, right? Somebody's dead in this triangle, or husband snaps, something like this. This may even be more than one story, but there'll be a one big header this next week for this Thursday, Friday morning, West Coast surfer time. Sorry, Sam. When I say that, it's different all over the planet. It's different on the damn East Coast. But you get my point there, is that psychologically it's in your best interest as your counselor. As your counselor, it's in your best interest and well-being to kick it to the curb. Enough is enough. You're done. You've extracted the resources in the mind, the love mine, the shaft is done. The canary in that mine is dead, by the way. The canary, they die. When it's dangerous, it's time to go. Time to go. Cut it loose. You will feel better in the end. That's that heart, the emotions, the psychological. It's like a drug. Love is like a drug. And I know, because I've done lots of love and I've had my share of drugs. The way that love and a woman affects my brain, affects me like a narcotic. I actually become dependent on her emotions, the sexual energy. It's like it transfers. That type of a high is addictive to me. And I think a lot of people, this is what creates problems for people. Is the love, it takes over their thinking process and they begin to, unfortunately, they can go really sideways and it becomes violent, whether it's anger and rage, then it's homicidal and sociopathic, or sadomasochistic, where they want to inflict pain on people. It's like you get this weird, dark narcissism. Narcissism has different layers, in my opinion. Narcissism, you can have a dark narcissist, or you can have a narcissist that's so self-absorbed they're just stomping on people everywhere they go and they don't even know it. The dark narcissist actually knows what they're doing, and they like it. If you can believe that. They enjoy it. It's a hunt. It's a safari. See? And that's bordering, yes, you said it, sociopathic. I mean, psychopathic, there's no emotions. If they have a little bit of remorse or regret, there may be hope. Probably not. Psychopathy, they're gone. They're beyond the point of return. And I firmly believe that. It's the same thing with, I think, child predators and sex offenders. You can't, I don't think you can actually turn them around. You could try chemical castration, which ironically, that's what the trans community is trying to do to the children in schools. Those same drugs, the puberty blockers, are what was controversially discussed in psychiatry for chemical castrations of sex offenders and blocking those hormones. Isn't that interesting how that works? Remarkable coincidence. So it's I like that we're resting on the beach. Our surfboard is there. We're going to go back in on the surfboard. We're going to surf that blood moon. That is powerful shit. You know we got to go out there and do it. I mean, oh my God. Yes, it's very dangerous, and yes, it might kill us. You know, it's not that we are thrill seekers in the sense where we want to die. It's that excitement. It's that excitement that keeps us going in that game. Same thing with relationships, I believe. Probably true for politics. People that get into that, get a little bite of the politics, start winning. I think it's probably addictive, just like a gambler winning, just like an addict hitting on a good round of dope or whatever. It's affecting the brain in a way that is addictive. So look for patterns. Look for these patterns. The patterns that aren't working, if it's with the relationship, cut it loose. You've got to just be clean, and this is the week to be clean. There's no gradual, there's no phasing it out, there's no being nice. It's over. It's done. Say it and do it, and psychologically do it, and allow your spirit and your emotions to heal from that direct cut of the Virgo lunar blood moon. 30 minutes, that's probably what I wanted to say. I really feel like we're looking at the owl priestess. By the way, that if you look at that there's a whole scene where they've got prisoners down here below. They're draining blood out of them. I mean, it is dark shit. Human sacrifice. This is Andes, but the Mesoamerican culture did it. The Catholic churches, you're looking at all these little secret clusters, Knights of the Templar. I mean, who knows? I mean, all these folks are suspects of possible human sacrifice, child sacrifice. And I can't help but feel like the border crisis, we've been sacrificing these children just like in the old days, thousands and thousands, 10,000 years. These children for Guatemala, literally in the Mayan Mesoamerican land, from the blood soil that was soaked with the blood of children thousands of years ago in Mesoamerican Guatemala, Mayan country, literally repeating itself, where they were bad operatives, Jill Biden and Hillary Clinton, a whole bunch of bad operatives that you'd be surprised flew these children in, and we've lost millions. They say 400,000, it's far more than that. And they were clearly undocumented and are in bad shape. Whoever's left and alive, those children need help. And we probably won't be able to get to them. And then if you apply hypnosis and any type of psychological trauma and whatever, those young children are a couple of years are just going to, whatever environment that they've been in, whoever their care providers are, is going to be controlling them. Unfortunately, that's the nature of child trafficking. It's really, really sad. And I think there is a time of reckoning for those mofos this next week. I actually think that could even be a positive on the bloodshed of the blood moon. We could see some of these dirtbags go down or up in smoke. The cartels, the traffickers, Mesoamerican, Mexico. Could be. It would be a good time to do that if somebody was planning to do a military operation. All right. On that note, back to my reggae dubstep. See if I can do some work on it. This painting here, by the way, this is going to be a blood moon. This is going to be red. I'm coming in with red next. It's not going to just all be blue. This is blue before the blood moon. Red. Venus and Mercury. I see you. Peace out.